What creepypasta scared you so much it wouldn't stop bothering you? I can't remember if it was a creepypasta, but this one about an emotionless woman who came into a hospital. It described her as looking like a mannequin, and I had this creepy ass picture on the screen the whole video. That one always creeped me the heck out when I was younger. Oh yeah, The Expressionless was the name of it. She killed 2 guards and was never seen again. Creepy as heck. The only one that really got me was called Normal P for Normal People, and was a story about this website that consisted almost entirely of random videos that get more unhinged the deeper you go. The entire story just felt off, in a good way, the entire time, but it really got weird when it got to the man in the chicken mask. Search and Rescue Woods creeped me out for weeks. I still think about it and reread it occasionally. Still say no to camping because of this one. That Pirates Cove one still gives me the creeps. Candle Cove, Siffy turned it into a miniseries a few years back and it was great. Honestly, Goatman. Anasia's Goatman, narrated by Mr. Creepypasta, is my all-time favorite. Just spooky all around but never becomes too fantastic, like the perfect might be true campfire story. I know it's an older one, but the Russian sleep experiment got me freaking good. Honestly, only that photo creeped me out. The I Heard It Too short story scared me so much that I, as a full-grown teenager, sleep with my light on and refuse to go in dark rooms' hallways. The one about a man finding an empty cabin in the woods and seeing horrific paintings around the bed. The punchline fricks with me all this time after. I want to read that one. I found the ending of Penpal to be disturbing. Just knowing what that creep did to Josh is sickening. Smile JPG. I could still see the photo 4 nights afterward. I looked it up, saw the photo for less than a second, and I can't get it out of my head now. The Rake. That creepy ugly monster that climbed into people's bedrooms scared me so much in middle school. The scariest part being it striking all over the world. Nobody is safe, and nobody survives after it targets you. Yeah, and the fact that how old it is. Earliest sighting of it was in 1600s. Abandoned by Disney. Around the time I read it I was actually going to a Disney resort. I was beyond creeped out for months. FNAF Mickey Mouse basically. The one where this guy has all of his senses removed in order to get closer to God. The nightmare of being completely shut off from the sensory world alone, never mind finding God only to discover that God detests the entire human species. Stuck with me for a while. Gateway of the Mind. There's a video on YouTube of it, I think. I'm too scared to watch it. Oh man, I can't remember the title, but it's the one where the boy likes to talk to furniture. His parents see this and they make more furniture for him to talk to. Anyway, the twist is that the parents are evil doctors who kidnap people and stir them into furniture, and the boy just interacts with them like a normal couch or bed. Couldn't get it out of my head for the longest time. I can't remember either. This kid got his own bedroom for the first time, until something came out of his walls. The first time I read it, it scared the bejesus out of me. I was in a pretty bad place when I first heard Squidward's suicide. I was around 15 years old, at a summer camp for a month with a bunch of cool kids who could listen to creepypastas for hours without feeling scared at all, or so they said. Well, this was the first time in my life that I had a really bad sleep schedule, so I was going to bed around 4:30 and waking up around 8, and I wasn't eating right. So, I don't know exactly what was up, but for some reason, when someone brought up Squidward's suicide in the dining hall during lunch one day, it hit me pretty hard. They read the story, and it freaked me out enough. I have always loved scary stuff, but lost media in general always scared me for some reason. So maybe that got me a little, not sure, but after reading the story, they said want to see what Squidward looked like and I reluctantly said yes. They quickly swung their laptop around the table, and when that picture got to me I screamed so loud that half the packed cafeteria could hear me, and I almost fell out of my seat. That image shook me to the core. That night, I couldn't look around my dorm room without being terrified. Someone had written the word heck in glow-in-the-dark ink on my ceiling probably years before. I had to cover it with cardboard. The water stains on the wall that I had seen daily, they started to look like the silhouette of Squidward and I couldn't look at them. It was absolutely ridiculous, but I couldn't get the image of his burning red eyes out of my mind. My other friends decided to look at the picture after I reluctantly told them why I was so scared, and they told me that it was freaky out of pity. After that day, I couldn't watch SpongeBob for 2 years, and whenever I thought of that image I almost started crying. Or did. When I was 17 or 18 I finally had the courage to look at the object of my fear for so long. It had gotten less intense over the years, but the idea of looking at it was still terrifying. So, I googled it, and, of course, it was just a badly photoshopped image of Squidward with bloody eyes. I was done lol. Now like after that the pic that went with the expressionless really messed with me, but I was done after I finally found out about its origin last week. That one was like too much, man. I don't know if it's true, but I once saw something about the old Soviet Union about creating zombie-like things and it worked. They sewed a puppy's head to the body of a grown dog, and albeit the puppy wasn't that mentally capable, it still reacted to sounds and stuff, and because that worked they moved on to bringing dead people back to life. They got as far as getting gurgles and movement of the head until they realized what they were doing was messing with Mother Nature. Got me scared of the Soviet Union and zombies actually happening for a long time. Still get squeamish when thinking about it. No creepypastas have creeped me out, but Squidward's suicide is one of my favorites. Being an animator, I like the idea of the animators making accidental jokes in their work to mess with the editors. That image terrified me for months, bro. How to survive in heck on Arnalep. The Harbinger experiment. A scientist named Zimmerman worked on an experiment where he would open up a portal to another dimension and bring in 3 entities. One of the entities breaks all heck and kills everybody in the facility, except for the protagonist, a doctor. The ending of the story shows that the entity is still free out into the world years after the experiment took place. Why the frick am I reading this before bed? There was one about a disease people got that made their whole bodies itch so badly that one girl scratched out her eye with a spoon to scratch behind the eye. I wish I could remember what it was called, but it freaked me out every time I had a tiny itch anywhere for like a month. Frick, I remember this one but not the name. I don't think it's a creepypasta, but the blank room soup video freaks me out so much. The first time I watched it with the context behind it I got so scared I actually started crying. Like, completely involuntarily my eyes teared up, and the worst part is no one has definite proof whether it's fake or not. I watched a video on it a while ago so my memory may be a little blurry, but from what I remember of the actual context of it is that the costume used to be a part of a traveling comedian's show or something, and that one day while he was performing somebody stole it from backstage and he never found out who it was nor what happened to the costume until this video got released. That lamp Reddit story. I know it's not a creepypasta, but man, that crap fricked me up. That picture of Jeff the Killer where he is in a closet, or Slenderman, one of the two. My name Jeff. That's not a creepypasta, but one thing that scared me so much was don't hug me, I'm scared. Slenderman activates a portion of my brain that causes irrational paranoia, which is a symptom of Slenderman stalking, which then freaks me out more. One time I thought I saw him and I've never been more afraid of anything in my life. It's just the very idea of this thing that I physically cannot do anything to defend myself against terrifies the heck out of me, to the point where I have to force myself to believe that he is not real. Also, I freaking hate clowns. I'm sorry to exacerbate your fear, but there was an assault of a teenage girl by 2 other teenage girls caused by the Slender Man story. Beware the Slenderman is a documentary on it. Feed the Pig by far. The guy who wrote it expanded upon that universe and wrote 2 books about it. Also, everything else the author has written is amazing. Probably Mr. Wide Smile or Mr. Wide Mouth. That little gremlin that tries to make kids do dangerous things with him, but one kid didn't do stuff with him. I really don't remember the gremlin's name, but he had a huge ass creepy smile. It doesn't look like anyone has mentioned it yet, but who has read Psychosis? That was the last creepypasta I was able to read for a long time. The fact that you can sit there and drive yourself insane so easily, it's too real. I still even have small flashbacks to the dang story, and it's been 6 years since I've read it. Scary crap. Man door hand hook car door. I'm not quite sure why, but no end house has always bugged me. probably routine-y. How do they make it spiral like that? The story of Rose, the woman holding an orange Bayou in a vase, bothered me for a long time. Such a captivating series, but at the same time I remember being terrified reading it. Jeff the Killer, until I realized he was just an emo boy with psychotic behavior. Then I also realized how unrealistic it was. Seriously though, cut his eyelids off so he would never sleep again. How the frick could he manage to do that and not take out a frickin' eye? Also, humans need sleep to be able to live or have energy. See Russian sleep experiment. Also, that ruins his super speed, because I take it from someone who tried to run track after a night of MTNG and video games. It doesn't work so well. Jeff the Killer is really not good. It's clearly just someone's edgy slasher OC that was slapped into a nonsensical and poorly written story. Heck, the original story was removed from the Creepypasta wiki for being so crap, so they got someone else to remake it, and that one also ended up being a piece of crap too. The Max and Ruby one fricked me up. It isn't even that scary, but the fact that I watched Max and Ruby religiously as a kid made everything worse, and I can never look at it the same. All of them I'm an extremely paranoid, but especially the Russian sleep experiment. It was somewhere on Reddit, but it's the one where the guy lived in a neighborhood that was just being built, so he didn't have many neighbors yet. Then he hears someone playing the fiddle. It's some creepy guy standing at a hill looking at him. Any of them that ending something like, now that you have read her story, she will come to you. Smile dog. I was fine until I saw that picture at the end. Fricked me up for a while. I mean, after I heard of Bloody Mary in 7th grade, I was up for 2 weeks straight. Still never gonna try that crap. You have been visited by the Be Humble. Be stay humble and believe in yourself. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.